Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a very intriguing thing we're going to go talk about in regards to the PlayStation 5 Pro, where we are now seeing people getting concerned about the fact of, is there going to be longevity to the PS5 Pro? Is it going to go and fall in that same exact vein of the PlayStation VR2, where they just kind of drop it and forget about it? And will games actually have a big major change up? So I'm gonna go talk about this, give my feedback and thoughts on it, because I do think the PS5 Pro is like that next big topic where everyone's like, do I want to get one? Is it worth getting? Am I getting my money's worth? Is it a dud? And I think this will give us a chance to address a lot of these concerns. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments and everything down below. And of course, as well, hope you guys will enjoy the video. Subscribe if you guys are new, leave a like if you guys like, and of course the quick sell, we do have a PSVR2 link. Funny enough, as they're comparing this to the PlayStation VR2, it is actually on sale now for $350, a lot of money off. We're also doing a promotion for the summertime with Target. All those links down below are hashtag ads. If you guys care about hair care and all that type of stuff and summertime vibes, all linked down below. So as I mentioned, the PlayStation VR2 is kind of on a big sale. A lot of people are kind of finally realizing it's worth the time, worth the money to go and get. Spec-wise, it's good. Price-wise, it's great. And a lot of the big critiques was it's very expensive. But it doesn't go and take away the fact that people are concerned about the long-term support for the PlayStation VR2, and then in turn, the PS5 Pro. Now, thankfully, the PSVR2 is about to get an adapter, so you could use it on PC. So in theory, Sony doesn't even really need to support it per se. But something like the PlayStation 5 Pro is a little bit different. Now, I'm also going to say, I think at the end of the day, the PS5 Pro is going to get a lot of extra attention. They're going to be selling games and ideally updating games, but it is a good, valid concern that some people might be thinking, like, if Sony is okay just to brush off consoles and brush off VR, what's to stop them from being like, hey, we made GTA 6 and we made maybe a few of our normal games like Spider-Man 2, God of War ported to higher frame rate or resolution and then kind of drop it. And that's, I think, an honest to God, a valid concern. I don't think so, though. Because if you're probably gonna sell more PS5 Pros over time than the VR2. And as well, you can still sell other hardware, like all the prior games, PS Plus, etc., with the PS5 Pro. But let's see what they have to go and say. Basically, a reader is put off from buying the PS5 Pro because of Sony's poor support of the PSVR2 and lack of first-party games, especially in the PSVR2. I agree on that. Considering Sony hasn't even announced the PS5 Pro yet, a lot of people seem to be making some pretty detailed financial plans around it. And rightfully so, it's maybe like, I'd probably say $700-ish if I had to guess. Maybe there'll be $600, who knows, because you know the PS5's dropped down a little bit. But at the end of the day, it will be costly and it is a big upgrade. They'll probably most likely have trade-ins too, though, as well. But I agree, you should maybe worry about it, start saving money. And the rumors were by the end of this year, we don't know for sure, but rumors, that I doubt is coming true and coming out, or that the constant stream of leaked specs aren't substantially true. But a reader's feature basically was talking about selling their PS5 to get the new model. Sometimes they thought it struck them as overly trusting and saying they don't trust PlayStation anymore, especially after the PlayStation VR. I don't mean in the sense that the console itself will be a disappointment. It probably won't make too much of a difference, just like the PS4 Pro didn't. And I would agree, like, specs are nicer, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all change that everyone's expecting, but it is big. But for those who have the highest tech version, I'm sure it will do what it claims. And I agree. I'll probably buy one, because why not? My concern, though, is something different, and that's how much Sony will even support it. Because I own the ultra-expensive paperweight known as the PlayStation VR2. And I know for a fact that Sony is perfectly happy to ignore a new piece of hardware no matter how much it costs and how much they hype it up beforehand. And I'm gonna be honest, like, rightfully so, some people probably will and do feel screwed over from the PSVR2. They got maybe one major game. They have a few other games ported, but like, it doesn't really seem like it had its own deciding factor. Now, I do think the PC update is going to be a big game changer. I do support that a lot. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, if someone's valid, this is a valid thought. Now, I don't think the PS5 Pro is going to be like basically they're going to forget about it. I think a lot of games are going to push it. They're going to maybe try to even sell some first-party games exclusively for the PS5 Pro to like be like, hey, this is going to be huge on PS5 Pro. Still sell on the PS5, but you know, factor that on in, and that's a big deal. Like well, I'm gonna maybe guesstimate like 10 million PS5 Pros relatively quickly. I mean, I'll still take a little bit of time, but like I think it'll be a big deal. The PS4 Pro sold well, all things considered, and I think it's big. But they're also saying too as well, if you think I'm being overly negative, consider the reason why people started to think maybe it had to be delayed and it wouldn't even be coming out this year, because there are no games to take advantage of it. And that is a valid point. Like GTA 6 rumored maybe, and probably will be a big game with it, but we don't have any PlayStation games. Like if we had like a cool Venom game or even Wolverine, and it was maybe set to launch this year, that does make sense. But is anyone going to really buy a PS5 Pro right now if there's no major games? I'm sure some will, yes. But at the end of the day, probably not as many as people probably expect. And they're also saying, assuming it is out this autumn, there are no games planned to come out alongside it. And unless there's a surprise release, that is a good point. Astrobot comes out on September 6th, and that's pretty much it for Sony's Christmas plans. They may work in something smaller, like a Spider-Man DLC or something, I don't know, but that is a good point. Like right now, there is nothing majorly out there. And if someone did just get by a PSVR2, I could see them being very skeptical. Now, I do think over like a 3-4 year period, the PS5 Pro will add a lot of cool updates and even make older style games run better resolution, frames, etc., better ray tracing. But that is a valid concern that's cool, but do you really want to spend $600, $700, $800 on a PS5 Pro that only improves the performance? Maybe not. Like maybe just buy a PC at that point. Like I can see the concern of it. I'm assuming they will do more. I'm hoping they're going to do more and of course launch cool games as well for maybe 2025, but it's a valid critique. Like it's true. I hope it doesn't happen, but we don't know. Like you guys got to look on both sides of the coin. So assuming it comes out this October or November, that means you'll turn on your brand spanking new console that costs more than the original, and you have a bunch of old games that will basically have better graphics. I think the PS5 Pro will be worth it. I hope. Like I'm hoping, like I'll assume it over here. And I do hope they'll have some cool games planned up for it. And once again, even GTA 6, like I'd even consider it. Like as an adult, I'd maybe consider it. I mean, I'm just saying, like I think GTA 6 could be one of the best games of all time, hopefully. But I could also see why these people are cynical. Like if they don't think they got a good value from the PS5 Pro at $550. So factor in normal PS5, $500, PS5 Pro, $550. They spent $1,000, $2,000, like $1.2 thousand, and they kind of got screwed over. Like I get it, like I understand, and I think all the PlayStation VR users should, in all honesty, be like, I kind of get it. I wish PlayStation would have given them like a free game, 6 months of PS Plus, or just like something to kind of smooth them over a little bit because they did get screwed over. And I'd stand by that. And they're even saying it might be even a worse start than the PlayStation VR2 got. It had one first-party game at launch and then nothing else ever. The PS5 Pro isn't likely to get any exclusives. I don't think they would. Always going to be playing multi-cell for sure, but they might have some games that have exclusive features and basically make the game look god tier, which I get. Like, I kind of get that. And they are assuming that. They're saying the lack of effort Sony is putting into everything now is very concerning to me. They just seem to assume that they can do as little as possible and be rewarded for it. And I have also seen this also mirrored. Like, I don't think this article is technically wrong, but I'm more of an optimist than like someone negative. But I also didn't go and buy the PSVR2 at $550 and get no games off it, and also have to rebuy PSVR1 games. Like that was a flop. Like it was not a good life call, and I think most people would agree. But I do think the PS5 mainstay has been doing well. New games, more games than Xbox. And I do think the PS5 Pro, although it's not out yet, we don't want to assume, I would assume that PlayStation would put a little bit more effort into making better games and making it worthwhile. But, I mean, I'm more just the optimist. Like, this person I think is very valid. Like, I wish I could sit here and like knock on the article 24/7, but I did have a special spot in my heart for PSVR2 users. That's why I'm even saying like it's a good piece of hardware, especially at $350. Like, link down below, same with all the the target links and stuff. It's cool. I've been seeing a lot of people picking up the VSPR on the cheaper price, but if I save $200, of course you're going to be happy and think it's a good deal, and also PC support. But day one, and you buy it and you play it for 3 hours and there's nothing else going on and nothing to look forward to, if you are a big spender, which you kind of are if you bought the PSVR 2, it's like bonus stuff, I can see why you'd be upset. I can understand why Sony would be making you mad and why you might be apprehensive in the PS5 Pro. I'm hoping that it won't be that way. I'm hoping that the PS5 Pro will be a good console with nice additions that's worthwhile for their price. But I can also kind of want to maybe look at it to a different class, because it is a good point. His PSVR2 issues were big, and while it's good to buy now at $350, I think I would be a little bit kind of icked on, like just not feeling the best about Sony if I saw it and bought it at $550 and only played the Horizon game. So give me your thoughts. I would love to hear everything down below, and this is actually a pretty valid comment, I'll be honest with you guys. Send me your thoughts and comments. Subscribe if you guys are new. We have the Twitter and Twitch as well down below, and of course check out all the nice various affiliate links and all those cool sales down below too as well. I appreciate y'all for watching.